And the other day, somebody tipped me the wink that it was being suggested on a YouTube channel that I do not write my own material. Since I've got over 100 books currently in print, and it's how I make my living, I have to scotch that kind of rumour swiftly. Otherwise, people will be claiming that because I didn't deny it, it must be true. Anyway, I went over to look at the channel and was fascinated by what was being said there. The gist of it was that something highly suspicious must be going on because YouTube have not closed down this channel and allow me to keep making 3 videos a day. Obviously, I must be backed financially by somebody, and also these same entities have influence with YouTube and stop them from banning my channel. It was pretty much standard conspiracy theory territory. Nothing can ever be as it appears, and always sinister forces are at work behind the scenes. Either the Jews, the Illuminati, Big Pharma, or one of the other usual suspects. To such people, the obvious explanation can never be the real one. In this case, the idea that I'm making videos because I want to do so, and that YouTube doesn't ban them because there is nothing wrong with the content, is simply too straightforward to be considered. The reason people don't like these videos is just because they disagree with what I say sometimes and think that I am mistaken. This is, of course, entirely possible. That is to say, I may well be wrong about some or all of what I say here, but that is not, of course, a good reason for YouTube to ban me. The people who feel that YouTube should ban me for talking about the things which they do not like are usually far more confident than me about their position. They cannot for a moment entertain the idea that it is their views which might be incorrect. They have perfect confidence in the belief that their opinions on matters relating to the modern world are both ethically sound and factually correct. I honestly wish I had such self-assurance, but I do not. I cannot imagine wanting YouTube to close down other channels just because I happen to disagree with what is being said on them. There is, of course, a little more to it than this, because those who wish to see this channel banned think that I am not only wrong, but the things which I say are dangerous and wicked. There I am unable to agree. I certainly explore controversial topics and express myself forcefully about them, but I really don't think that this is evil behaviour. I've discussed the possibility, for instance, that just as was the case a couple of 100,000 years ago, humanity might be divided into groups which amount or almost amount to different species, and that these groups correspond to geographical areas. That's how it was a quarter of a million years ago, of course, with Homo sapiens in Africa, the Neanderthals in Europe and Western Asia, the Denisovans in part of Asia, and Homo erectus in Southeast Asia and the Far East. If there were 4 different human species living contemporaneously in those areas hundreds of thousands of years ago, it seems likely to me that some echo of this might well linger on to this day. It's an interesting idea, but it is one which infuriates some folk. This, then, is the thesis advanced by those who really dislike this channel. It is that I am being paid to say controversial and dangerous things here, and that YouTube is being threatened, bribed, bullied, or otherwise forced to allow me to do so. It sounds quite mad to me, and it is interesting that none of those who say this kind of thing is ever able to state clearly just who it is behind this plot. I rather suspect that these folks really think that I'm being paid by the Jews or the Israelis, as comments made here do refer to this idea. I'd be very glad if anybody commenting here could flesh this idea out a bit, so that I can have a clearer idea of what it is meant when people refer darkly to my paymasters.